There's a material hiding inside most budget bathroom vanities that is quietly waiting to destroy them. It swells when it gets humid, it bubbles when it gets wet, and by the time you notice the damage, the vanity is already ruined. Thousands of homeowners have left brutal reviews describing exactly this, and yet these vanities keep selling, because most people don't know what to look for until it's too late. Today, 7 vanity mistakes and the simple fix for each one, grouped into 3 categories. The ones that physically destroy your vanity, the ones that trick you with surfaces that aren't what they seem, and the ones you'll regret within a few years. If you've been putting off this bathroom renovation and you want to finally get it right, this is the video. Hit subscribe and like, it takes 1 second. We're starting with the material that's hiding inside your vanity right now. The hidden material that dissolves in your bathroom. Open the cabinet doors on most budget vanities at any big box store, and you'll find the same thing hiding inside. Particle board. It's essentially sawdust compressed with adhesive into flat sheets. It's cheap to produce, which is why it shows up in the majority of affordable vanities. And in a living room bookshelf or a bedroom dresser, particle board can last for years. But in a bathroom, where steam from showers, splashing from the sink, and general humidity are a daily reality, particle board is a ticking clock. When moisture gets in, and it will, the material swells dramatically. Industry testing shows it can expand 15 to 20% in thickness. That expansion causes paint to bubble, surfaces to warp, doors to go out of alignment, and eventually, the entire structure starts to crumble. And if you live in Florida, Texas, Georgia, or anywhere across the South, where bathroom humidity stays high year-round, this process happens even faster. How do you spot it before you buy? Open the cabinet and look at any exposed edges, the bottom, the back, the underside of shelves. Particle board has a distinctive compressed sawdust texture with no visible wood grain. Plywood shows layered lines. Solid wood shows natural grain. If you're shopping online and the listing doesn't specify what the vanity is made of, assume it's particle board. Solid wood and plywood are selling points that manufacturers always advertise. And one common piece of advice you'll hear is to judge materials by weight. That lighter means cheaper. Don't rely on that. The reality is that the weight varies significantly depending on the density and grade of the board. Some particle board is actually heavier than plywood. The visual edge test is far more reliable than picking it up. Now, particle board is the obvious enemy, but the material most people think is safe can fail you too. The safe upgrade that isn't always safe. MDF, medium density fiberboard, is the material most commonly recommended as the step up from particle board, and it is better. MDF uses finer wood fibers, creating a smoother, denser board that holds paint beautifully and machines well for detailed door profiles. But here's what most sources leave out. MDF is also vulnerable to moisture. When water penetrates it, MDF swells, softens, and can develop mold. In a bathroom without good ventilation, especially an interior bathroom with no window, MDF used in the wrong places can deteriorate badly, just more slowly than particle board. What to do? The ideal vanity uses solid wood for the structural frame, the parts that bear weight and encounter the most humidity, with MDF used only for door panels and drawer fronts, which take less direct moisture exposure. If MDF is used in the structural frame, look specifically for moisture-rated MDF, sometimes labeled MRMDF or green MDF, which is treated for humid environments. The material hierarchy for bathroom vanities in 2026 is straightforward. Solid wood for the frame is best. Moisture-rated MDF is acceptable for non-structural components. Standard MDF is risky in wet areas, and particle board should be avoided entirely. And for those on a tighter budget, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Habitat for Humanity. Restores regularly carry quality vanities at steep discounts. Costco offers solid options like Kohler vanities at competitive prices. Clearance sections at the big box stores discount real quality when product lines change over. In local cabinet makers, one viewer found an Amish furniture shop building solid wood vanity bases at prices comparable to mid-range off-the-shelf options. You don't have to spend $1,000 to avoid particle board. You just have to know where to look. 2 material mistakes covered. But the third one requires you to physically inspect the vanity, because the shortcuts are hidden behind closed doors. The construction shortcuts you can't see from the outside. A vanity can be made of decent materials and still fall apart because of how it's assembled. The difference between a vanity that lasts 2 years and one that lasts 20 often comes down to what's holding it together. Cheap construction relies on staples. Open any drawer and look at the corners. If staples are holding the box together instead of screws or joinery, that vanity is built to a minimum standard. Those staple joints loosen with daily use. Drawers start catching. Doors drift out of alignment. Soft close mechanisms stop working. What you want to see. Dovetail joints on drawer boxes. Those interlocking cuts at the corners that lock the pieces together mechanically. Screws on structural joints instead of staples. Hinges and drawer slides that feel solid and operate smoothly. Here's a 30-second test you can do in any store. Open and close every drawer and door multiple times. Do they glide smoothly? Do they shut completely? Does the soft close actually work? Or does it stop halfway? Then open the cabinet and use your phone flashlight to look inside for staples, visible glue residue, and exposed raw edges of particle board. If the display model already has problems, wobbling doors, drawers that won't close, chips in the countertop, imagine what will happen after a year in your bathroom. One more thing worth checking. Make sure the sink has a proper drainage hole and an overflow hole. At least one homeowner learned the hard way that their vanity combo shipped without one. That covers what destroys your vanity physically. But the next section is about something more subtle. Surfaces that look fine in the store but perform terribly once you get them home. The sink that sprays water all over your bathroom. Vessel sinks, the kind that sit on top of the counter like a decorative bowl, are one of the most visually striking options in bathroom design. They photograph beautifully. In a hotel or a powder room that gets occasional use, they can work as a genuine design statement. But in a bathroom that gets used every day, the problems start immediately. Water splashes over the rim onto the counter and floor during normal hand washing. The junction between the bowl base and the countertop traps moisture and grime that's difficult to clean. The higher bowl means the faucet has to be mounted higher, which tends to increase splash distance even further. And the exposed plumbing beneath can look messy if the installation isn't meticulous. What to do instead? For any bathroom with heavy daily use, an undermount or integrated sink is the more practical choice. And when it comes to sink material, vitreous china is worth seeking out specifically. It's a porcelain base fired at high temperatures with an added layer of melted powdered glass, creating a non-porous, high-gloss surface that resists heat, stains, scratches, and bacteria. It's what you find in most quality bathrooms for good reason. It handles everything from hot water to hair dye without damage, and cleaning is as simple as wiping with a damp cloth. The key: tell if the vanity top and sink are one seamless piece with a plasticky feel. That's almost certainly cultured marble resin. A separate undermount or drop-in vitreous china sink paired with a stone top is the sign of a higher quality setup. Now, the sink is one surface people overlook, but the countertop is the other one, and this is where the most common regret happens. The countertop that shows its true colors too late. Cultured marble is the default countertop on most budget bathroom vanities. It's made primarily of resin, which is essentially plastic, mixed with marble dust and pigments. From a few feet away, it can look acceptable. Up close, there's usually a plasticky sheen and a feel that doesn't match real stone. But the real issues are functional. Cultured marble stains from things you use every day in a bathroom. Makeup, hair products, even hard water rings around the faucet base. It scratches easily from normal contact. Over time, it can yellow. And it absolutely cannot handle heat. A curling iron or flat iron set down on it, even briefly, can leave a permanent mark or melt the surface. And that's not unique to cultured marble. Composite surfaces, including corian, can also be damaged by hot styling tools. On any bathroom countertop, use a heat-resistant mat under hot tools. Always. Now, if you already have a cultured marble top and it's been serving you well, there's no reason to panic. Plenty of homeowners have had them for a decade or more without major issues, particularly in guest bathrooms and powder rooms with lighter daily use. But if you're buying new and you have the option to choose, a more durable material will reward you over time. What to do instead? Quartz tops are the most stain-resistant and durable option for bathroom vanities. Engineered marble, which uses larger actual marble pieces bonded with resin, similar to how quartz is manufactured, is a meaningful step up from cultured marble. If a listing says engineered marble, that's a higher grade product than cultured marble. Learn that distinction, and you'll immediately filter out the lowest tier. That covers the surfaces. The final section is about the decisions you won't regret tomorrow, but might deeply regret in 3 to 5 years. Open bottom vanities with decorative legs look beautiful in photos. They make small bathrooms feel more spacious and airy, but in any bathroom that gets daily use, a primary bath, a hallway bath, a kid's bathroom, that open space underneath becomes a problem fast. Where do your cleaning supplies go? Hair tools, extra toilet paper, grooming products? Put too many items on that exposed shelf and it just looks cluttered. And the space under those legs collects dust, hair, and moisture constantly, all the way to the back wall. To clean it is genuinely unpleasant. But lack of storage isn't just about the bottom shelf. Many stylish vanities sacrifice internal storage for external appearance. Fewer drawers, shallow cabinets, decorative doors that look elegant but open to an empty box with no organization inside. What to do instead? Prioritize closed storage that extends to the floor. Within that storage, choose drawers over doors, same principle that transformed kitchen design. Drawers let you see and access everything without crouching down or reaching into dark corners, which, for anyone who finds bending and kneeling on a bathroom floor uncomfortable, is a genuine quality of life improvement. Deep drawers with built-in dividers and compartments are increasingly available even in mid-range vanities. If you love the visual lightness of an open bottom vanity, consider a floating wall mounted vanity instead. Mount it high enough to easily sweep or vacuum underneath. You get the airy aesthetic without the dust bunny problem, or simply go with a traditional vanity that's fully enclosed to the floor. Sometimes the classic approach is classic for a reason. The ultra-light white oak vanity with matte black hardware is in every showroom, every home renovation account, and every big box store display right now. The quality on some of these is perfectly fine. The issue is saturation. When one specific look becomes this ubiquitous, it begins to signal a particular moment in time, and within a few years, it will feel dated the same way honey oak from the 90s or vessel sinks from the 2000s feel dated now. That said, if you genuinely love that look and it brings you joy every morning, get it. Choose your vanity because it makes you happy, not because someone on the internet told you it's on trend. Your home is yours to enjoy. And here's a practical tip that can save you hundreds of dollars down the road. If your vanity is structurally solid but the style starts to feel tired, swapping out the hardware and faucet can transform the entire appearance for under $100. New brushed brass or unlacquered brass pulls on an older vanity make it feel like a completely different piece. You don't always need a new vanity, sometimes you just need new accessories. What to do instead? For a timeless look that ages well across trend cycles, go for clean lines, simple profiles, and warm neutral tones. A shaker-style vanity in taupe, greige, warm white, or natural walnut will still look current a decade from now. The trends will keep changing around it. Your vanity doesn't have to change with them. 7 mistakes. 3 ways they cost you. Physical destruction from materials that can't survive your bathroom. Surfaces that deceive you into thinking they're better than they are. And style decisions that expire faster than you'd expect. If you remember 3 things from this video, check every exposed edge inside the cabinet before you buy. The 30-second inspection will tell you more than any sales pitch. Learn the difference between cultured marble and engineered marble. Those two words, cultured versus engineered, separate the lowest tier from something significantly better. And choose a design you love for its own sake, not because it's trending, because trends expire, but a solid vanity with timeless style will serve you for decades. Whether your budget is $300 or $3,000, these principles are the same. The goal isn't to spend more, it's to spend smarter. This is your bathroom. If you've been waiting to finally make it the space you deserve, these are the decisions that make the difference. If this helped you avoid even one expensive mistake, share it with someone planning a bathroom renovation. It could save them hundreds and years of frustration.